Welcome, everyone, to A Mexican and a Redneck Father the World. We are your hosts and surrogate fathers, Juan and Ben. Today we'll be discussing life lessons for my children.
Also lice, I guess.
Lice.
That's a
That's
a real thing for kids.
We did that.
You experienced that? It's
We-
horrible. Did
spent-
you guys shave the kids' heads off?
No, we put mayonnaise or something in her head, and then we, 3 hours of just with that little comb, just combing and combing.
I've been blessed where I've never have had lice. And I had a best friend growing up in first grade who was infested with lice, and I used to hang out with him all the time. But every time my mom would comb my hair, she would find lice, but there would be dead lice in my head. So something about me just kills lice.
It's all that raw garlic you like to eat.
Something. So life lesson number 1, if you have friends that have lice, eat lots of garlic. It's a real thing.
It can't hurt you.
It just makes you stink. Well, it depends. It depends on what kind of garlic you eat. All right, so life lessons for children, Ben. So I want to focus on this. If I die today or tomorrow or here in the next little while, I want my son to be able to have some life lessons and be like, oh, I learned this from my dad. And then one of the biggest things that I've been thinking about, especially in the times that we're in, is understanding why you believe what you believe. Do you believe what you believe simply because this is what you've been taught? Or have you actually taken the time to understand your belief system so that when testing comes, you can actually give an answer for why you believe what you believe? It's kind of like if you're an engineer and then you believe in the law of thermodynamics, but you're not able to explain the law of thermodynamics, then are you really an engineer?
That's a good point.
Which I can grasp it, but I don't know enough of it to understand it. All I know is that everything tends to destruction, or organization leans towards chaos. So when you organize something, it's always going to go to chaos. Chaos never goes to organization. Kind of like my garage, I'm hoping that the law of thermodynamics will not apply to it, and then one day I'll just wake up and everything's organized. No, the more I let it sit there, the more disorganized it gets. I don't know why.
Christmas is coming. Maybe Santa Claus will come and organize it for you.
Man, I hope so. That would be the only time that I would let a man in a red jumpsuit come into my house, without shooting him.
Sure.
It's like, hey, I'm organizing your house. Oh, okay. I was about to shoot you. Okay, keep on. And then once you're done, leave.
Thanks, bye.
Thanks, bye. Oh, that's crazy. Anyways, so that's kind of like what I want to focus on this. I was at because I just been thinking about as far as the times that we're living in. It seems like everything's being questioned. Everything. And if you don't know why you believe what you believe, then you're just gonna fall and you're gonna be carried away with society. But society is going in a way that I don't want to go in that direction, because some of the belief systems out there right now are, what's a nice way to say it? Eccentric. Very eccentric.
They're not what I would agree with. Not all of them.
No.
Some people think differently from me, and that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
And we just think different, and it's okay to be different.
But it's not right now, Ben. That's the problem. We used to live in a society where it was okay to be different. But right now we're getting to a point to where if you're different, you can be different as long as you agree with what they're saying. But if you don't agree with what I'm saying, then you're bad. You're evil. That's the problem. Differences is there's nothing wrong with being different if you're able to come together and be like, have a discussion and be like, oh yeah, I completely disagree with you, and we're just going to walk away as friends. No, right now it's like, if you don't agree with me, I'm going to burn down your house. True story.
Oh, wow.
At least in Oregon.
That happened in Oregon?
Yeah, all the time. Do you not watch the television?
I do not watch any news. I don't think anyone should watch the news ever.
Yes. I agree with you.
No news, no social media. I'm weird. Funny enough, I don't have social media accounts, and I'm struggling right now to reach out to people and learn how to use social media because it's been so long since I've had one.
it's kind of hard to create a podcast without actually being connected to the social webs.
So we're doing it backwards.
Yeah.
We have YouTube.
YouTube's
YouTube's is that social media?
kind of, yeah. It's a social media platform, yeah.
Okay. So I use that one.
And the Twitters, have you done the Twitters yet?
I did the Twitters.
So we're working
Little
on Twitters.
birds, because we have the chickens, so it
So-
only made sense to use Twitter.
Yeah, so we're getting some stuff out there.
We're trying.
And kind of just expanding on as far as this. But I really wanted to, going back to the topic, Ben. So as far as like, have you ever taken the time and just kind of sit back and be like, why do I believe what I believe? And then is there,
I don't think it's possible to test yourself
what do you mean?
in that way. Like I can't. Why do I believe this? You can do more research on your own, and you can say, I've done this research, and this is why I believe what I believe, and you can have your arguments lined up
Mm-hmm.
for the inevitable, which is I tell you my beliefs, and then you say, why do you believe this part of that structure? Why do you believe that part of that belief structure? And then all of a sudden you're being tested. I think the testing is what really refines what you actually believe and don't believe.
Mm-hmm.
Because when I tell you something that I have understood and think is a rational, logical idea or fact or whatever it may be, you can say, well, I disagree with you for this, and this reason. And I think getting involved with other people and that trying, that testing, that struggle, iron sharpening iron, that's what makes you sharp and go, okay, this is actually why I believe that. Or, hey, I went to my friend Juan and he helped me understand why I don't believe that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. And maybe it is possible, not for me, but maybe some people can say, oh, I believe this for this reason, and I can look at all the angles on my own and rationalize through everything and truly take an unbiased look at a topic and go, this is why I believe that.
Mm-hmm.
But I think me and a lot of people I've met have to have that friendship, that connection, that relationship where, hey, let's have a good conversation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I think it always comes down to that as far as like being able to have somebody that you respect that comes into your life, and they may speak something into you that is a contrary to what you currently believe, but it causes you to ask questions. It causes you to be like, I never thought about it like that. And then you start thinking about it from a different point of view, and then you start realizing that like, oh wait, this is different. This is different perspective. Like in my man, as a kid, I remember thinking as a young man is like, marriage is so dumb. Why would anybody want to get married? I mean, it's just you're limiting yourself. You're putting yourself in the position to where you can't do anything, and it's like, why would you do it? My belief system was like, this is flawed. We shouldn't be doing this. Men should just be able to be free and do what you want to do. But then if you really start thinking about it, what does man do when they're able to be free? We do nothing. The productive individual is a rarity. It's not the norm. The individual who can be super productive as a individual, that's a rare thing. That's a shooting star.
When you say productive, though, what do you mean by that?
Productive. I mean, just being able to create anything of use, or just have a life where you're like, where you look at that individual and you're like, I want my life to be like that.
I think some people do, but not with our value structure. Because the people I think you and I admire have families,
Mm-hmm.
kids, healthy marriages that are long, and they do amazing things, but their family's involved in all of it. With
Mm-hmm.
our belief. Because I would, here we go, I would argue that a little bit to say that if somebody wanted to start a business or a music career or an acting career, having a family would not be very easy. Having marriage would not be very easy because you're constantly dedicated to the grind of those long hours, those long days, being gone constantly. And that would take a toll on a family.
Yeah.
So kind of maybe within the confines of your value system.
But and then too, like because
But our value system is the most right. So
yeah, well, because it's a
Just
temporary
kidding.
it's a temporary gain. you know, you work really, really hard for that season, but then at the end of accomplishing your goal, when you look back, you have nobody to share it with.
See, yes.
That's the thing that where I look back and I'm like, oh man, I don't want that. You know, I don't want to get it to the end of my life and be like, oh my gosh, I've done all this, but there's nobody to share it with. Now there's a book that I read and it talks about like, what's the point of working so hard? And then I'm paraphrasing, but it basically said this is like, what's the point of working so hard in this for something if at the end of the day I'm just gonna somebody else who didn't work for hard for it is just gonna take it from me. And that thought I remember reading that and I was like, huh, it's like life is about, you know, you want to achieve things so you can actually share it, whether you're going to share with society, with man, or with your kids. You know, if you have a bunch of kids, you want to build something that you can pass on to the next generation. But when you don't have that, it gets to a point to where you realize, why am I working so hard? And especially if you don't have somebody to share it with, you get to points like there's no reason to work so hard unless you're just, what's the type of person that like to work so hard because they want to work so hard? Is that there's some kind of word for it.
I don't know. That's a good way of saying it.
Psychologically, something. I don't know. I'm trying to be smart.
We'll ask a professional. No, but I agree with. So you're definitely adding to what I said. You know, the actor, the musician. Not all, but a lot of them end up, you know, okay, it's been 20 years I've been in this music industry or acting or whatever business, and they're in their 40s now and they're thinking, man, I'd like to have some kids.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to have a family, you know, and oftentimes the story goes, hey, I made this top level success. I want to get married. I want to have some kids.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they still might go out and tour, but they might also take that 10 years off. One of my heroes, and he's not a hero for why you would think, but Garth Brooks.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, the redneck. Garth Brooks, he's royalty.
I don't know who he is, but that's fine.
No. Okay. Really?
I mean, do you know who Vicente Fernandez is?
Yeah, I do know.
Why? Because I told you about him.
Exactly.
Okay,
and
so
now
tell
I'm
me about
telling you about Garth Brooks.
Garth Brooks. Okay, tell me about Garth Brooks.
Yeah.
Is he like Vicente Fernandez?
He is.
Okay, so when he makes a concert, do women just throw their panties at him?
I don't know. I've never been.
Okay, then
I
he's
know-
not like Vicente Fernandez.
Hey, when he makes a concert, though, he did 3 concerts in a row in Nashville at their largest arena and sold out all 3. It was like Thursday, Friday,
okay,
Saturday
he is like
night.
Vicente Fernandez. Okay,
Yeah, just complete sold out.
because Vicente would do that. If you make a concert in Nashville, it would sell out.
Okay. Yeah, so he was at the top of his career. I think he started in the 80s. And I mean, great songwriter, great performer, great singer. Like he's got it all. And he started having, you know, he had a wife, he had kids. And in the late 90s, I mean, this guy, he was the man in the 90s in the country music world, especially. But I mean, he had achieved, you know, world-renowned popularity. And he top of his game, and he's like, I'm going to retire now. And it was a shock. And they're like, well, why are you retiring? He's like, oh, I want to be with my family. I'm just going to retire and be with my family. But every time he, you know, does a tour, he sells out all the tickets. And
was he married through this process, or when?
I think he was married some of the time, but like he just retired on the farm and did normal dad stuff. Like, okay, it's 7, let's get the kids ready for school. Oh, it's 3, I got to go pick them up.
Man, see, I admire that. That makes me want to. Like,
that's why
research,
he's one of my heroes.
Research that, because if you're as a man, if you're able to achieve success and still maintain your family, man, that's I think that's powerful. Going back to like my story, as far as my belief system as a young man, thinking like, oh, if I had this belief that if you want to achieve true success in life, you have to do it alone. You have to do it, you know, because then families are only going to slow you down. These people contradicting your thoughts are only going to slow you down. But as I grow older, I realize that, and it's come from conversations, it's come from questioning my belief system and understanding why I believe what I believe. It's the opposite. Is when you're in community, you need a good support structure to be able to carry you through those hard times. When you're tired, when you're wore out, when you're man, if you're the actor and then you've gotten that 1,000th no of like, no, we're not gonna cast you for this movie. We're not gonna cast you for this role. We're not gonna, you're not getting the part. You failed at your business experience. You need that support system that says, I believe in you, and you're gonna achieve this. And if you have that, it's like, wow, you can really, you can overcome some things, because I don't know, whenever, so that's beautiful, man. I'm gonna have to look into Garth Brooks. He sounds like he might be as good as Vicente Fernandez, if not better.
Equal greatness.
I don't know. Vicente has a lot of kids.
I don't know how many Garth Brooks has. He's got a few.
All with the same wife?
I don't know. I mean, I think he's had a couple marriages.
Okay.
He's incredible. Y'all, everybody go listen to Garth Brooks. Just go listen to him.
Yeah.
He's incredible.
I wonder if Vicente Fernandez and Garth Brooks will ever come together and do a duet.
There wouldn't be a venue big enough.
You're probably right.
There just wouldn't be. They could not hold that much glory in one venue.
That's probably true. Probably true.
Also, Garth Brooks, if you're listening, we're probably like 2 hours south of you. You are always welcome here. You can be a part of this show anytime, anywhere. And Vincent Fernandez.
Yeah.
I might not speak the same language as him, but come on.
I mean,
he's Vincent Fernandez. He's welcome here.
He sings music.
He just starts singing. We're just going to sit back and watch.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it. Put on the show. Let's
do
go.
your thing, man. We're here. We're here for you.
So I guess wrapping this up, I really, out there, because I know we kind of went on a little bit of a tangent, but as far as everybody that's listening to this podcast, the main takeaway from this is this. We are going into a season of time. We're in it. I think we're like in the heat of it, where every single thing that you believe is going to be questioned, is going to be tested. And we are in a season of really looking into ourselves and realizing, why do I believe what I believe? Am I willing to die for this belief system? Am I, where's my, because our normal is gone. So everybody keeps talking about this new normal, which is, I still don't understand it, but it's okay. I'm still questioning it. But it really came down to me thinking about, there's a new normal if I choose to believe that there's a new normal. But if my foundation, my belief system is solid, my normal doesn't change. Everything's going to stay the same. And then the world around me may be changing, but my environment stays the same because my belief system has not changed. So that's kind of the thing that I would question everybody. I know there's this phrase where everybody's saying, "Oh, this is the new normal," but it's a new normal if you allow it to become a new normal. But if you are solid in your belief systems, if you know why you believe what you believe, if you're able to explain to other individuals, this is why I believe what I believe, then you're going to be in a good place. Is the individual that has no idea, as far as when you question, well, why do you believe that? Well, because they told me to believe this. Well, why do you believe them? Well, because they're the expert. Why are they the expert? Why are you not an expert? And it's our responsibility as men to be the experts of our belief systems. So when our child asks you, "Dad, why do you believe what you believe?" You're able to answer him and be like, "I believe this because of this, 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 and this. And you should believe this." Well, guys, with that being said, I want to thank you. I want to thank everyone for listening to A Mexican and Redneck Follow the World. We love you, and we're proud of you.